This is, without a doubt, the best camera that I've used in my photography career, period. I've been using the Sony A7R III now for approximately like 8 or 9 months, and I thought it was about time that I actually did a review of it to share my thoughts and opinions with you guys on why I think this is the best camera that I've used so far. First off, I just want to thank you guys for the immense support that you guys give me through this channel. It is incredible to be a part of this, and I really hope that you enjoyed the content so far, like everything from the vlogs to the tutorials to gear talk like this, where we just sit down and like talk about gear. But if this is your very first time watching me, then I will say welcome to the channel. I really hope that you'll enjoy the content, and you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button as well. I've had both the A7 III and the A7R III for a while now, but like when it comes to taking photos, I always come back to using the A7R III. The image quality is just so good. Recently I went down to Dubai to do a job, and on that trip I decided to use the A7R III as my main camera, both for like vlogging and to take all the photos with, and like I gotta say, it impressed me a lot. There's a couple of things with the A7R III that actually makes me go back to use that camera more than the A7 III, and I think like one of the main reasons is the size of that sensor. It is just so damn good in every single way. I personally want to have like the highest resolution images that I can produce for a reasonable price without having to go to medium format, but like the A7R III is like the mirrorless beast on the market right now. I think like the Nikon Z7 might be like the biggest contender. I know that the EOS R has like 30 megapixels or something like that, but I don't think there's any other camera manufacturer right now that has a mirrorless camera with a full frame sensor that is beating this. When it comes to video, I think that the A7 III is definitely the low light beast on the market right now, but if you remove the low light, I personally think that the A7R III is delivering the better overall video quality. I think it's because of the big sensor of the A7R III that scales down this image and makes it look like slightly sharper than the A7 III, but like might be just my personal opinion, but that is what I experienced when I've used both these cameras to do my jobs. Another thing that I completely love about the A7R III is that you have these 3 custom modes on the mode wheel, and like for me when I'm vlogging, it's great to have it set to like one mode at 25 frames, one mode at 50 frames, one mode at 100, because like it is so versatile to use and like adapt to the situation without having to go like back into the menu and switching and all that stuff, and then oh shit, now I can shoot. Like then you can just turn the knob and you got the 50 frames. Yeah, I think you get my point. It also makes my client work super easy, because when you are out and doing some event films, then you want to have some parts in 4K and some parts in 100 and some parts in 50, and then you can just like go back and forth between all those modes, and it makes it so much more easier to work with the flow, like having those different modes. And of course you can also set them for photo mode, so you can switch between different photo modes that you want to use, but like for me personally, I only save my video settings because I usually use the manual settings when I'm taking photos. When it comes to autofocus, I think that the A7R III feels just as fast as the A7 III when I'm actually using it on jobs or on location, because I can't tell any difference unless I put them side by side, like I did in this video where I compared the A7 III towards the A7R III, and you can check it out right here if you want to see that. There is still a couple of things that I would like Sony to improve on this camera, like for the next generation, to make it even better. The first thing that comes to mind is the weather sealing of these bodies, because like supposedly the A7R III has a better weather sealing than the A7 III, but like when I used the A7R III in Norway with my friend, then I was out shooting in the rain and it didn't like that at all. I actually thought the camera broke on me because it just stopped working, and then I had to bring it back to the cabin, and then I had to remove the battery and like let it be there for a while until I could like start it again. So I had to let it dry out before I could start it. So yes, I definitely see some kind of improvement on the weather sealing of these cameras, because right now I would probably like say drizzle proof at best. The second thing I would like them to improve is the actual screen of the camera, because like it's really good to have a tilting screen, but when you are taking low portraits, you're gonna have a hard time to see your actual frame or composition, because like, you're gonna have to, yeah. I do know that there's a lot of people out there, maybe you as well, that think that Sony should implement a fully articulating screen so that you can see yourself when you're vlogging, but like I don't think that is going to happen. But if we at least could get like a screen that is tilting in both landscape and portrait, that would be awesome. Like that would be a real step up in my opinion. But I guess if Sony actually implemented a fully articulating screen, I probably would be satisfied with that too. I'm also looking forward to the new firmware that Sony is going to release in April for the A7 III cameras, where they will actually finally bring back the time-lapse mode. I don't understand why they even removed it from the cameras to begin with. Like when I had the A6300, that was one of the functions that I used the most with that camera. But like it is going to be so good to be able to shoot those high-res time-lapses once again on my Sony cameras. So if you're watching this video after April 2019, then the firmware update is already released, I hope. I would love to hear your opinions on this camera, so please do drop a comment below and share your thoughts and opinions. Also, if you got any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. I will try to respond as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. I'd appreciate that. Until next time, take care. If you're watching right now, then I do know that you've watched all the way until the end of this video. So really glad that you're enjoying the content that I create. So thank you. See ya.